Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the trees at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you in it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys, Joe, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
It's week 15, and the Kansas City Chiefs are staring down a true must-win game as they host the Los Angeles Chargers at Arrowhead. The Chiefs come in as 4.5-point favorites, and with their playoff hopes hanging in the balance, this one means everything. FanDuel has every angle covered from Mahomes' passing yards and Hunt's rushing props. Want even more plays? Build your own same-game parlay and ride with Chiefs Kingdom all Sunday long. With fast payouts and an app that's smoother than a Mahomes no-look throw, FanDuel makes every snap feel bigger. And don't forget, every Friday on Chief Concerns, we drop our best 5-leg same-game parlay for the weekend. Plus, JD's 10 Keys to Victory, breaking down exactly how the Chiefs can keep their playoff hopes alive with a win over the Chargers. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and make every snap count. Chiefs, Chargers, everything on the line, and Arrowhead will be rocking. Attention all sports bettors. Big news, Chiefs Kingdom. Sports betting is finally going live in Missouri on December 1st. So we've partnered with bookies.com to bring you all the best sportsbook promos and sign-up offers in one place. Head over to bookies.com/chiefconcerns. The link is in the description below to check out all the offers from the top sports books in your area and pre-register today. You can lock in those bonuses now, even before betting officially starts on December 1st. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns, your Monday morning tight end show. I'm Marcus Dash. Right there is our guy, former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn. JD, how we doing, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm looking at you getting your little tan on down there in Cancun, ain't you? I'm looking at rosy cheeks and, sitting out there on the beach a little bit, enjoying yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, with the way that yesterday went, I had to get on the beach and try to forget how everything went yesterday, JD. I know yesterday was probably our shortest post-game show we've ever had.
Yes.
But the way things went, I think it deserved nothing more than the 20-minute show. But yeah, I'm feeling good, JD. A little bit of a burn, a little bit of a tan. But with me, when I get a sunburn, it'll turn to tan in a couple of days. So I'll get that bronze going on for the December for my holiday photo this year. I'll have more of a little tanner look to myself.
I got you, man. Let me say what's up, everybody in the chat, man. DJ Jazzy One, Andrea Chenault, Michael Kittle. I'm the Brown is in here. Linda Hunter. Who else we got in here? About Time is in this piece. Good to see you. About Time. Let me see who else. Everybody's gonna start following through. It's a good crew right now. This in Chief Concerns faithful already. So this is gonna be a good conversation, man, for today to talk about it. But listen, we didn't know what to expect yesterday, how things were gonna happen. It's very unfortunate the way it did happen. What do you say? With something like that, Marcus. I mean, you have, your main guy having a major injury, and nobody wanted to see it happen. And first, let me start off like this. So I took the girls to go get a little like a nice winter smoothie. Okay, nice peppermint type of smoothie out there. So shout out to Lonnie, and Skylar. If y'all watching, I'm sure they're watching up there. And then Kinley, I was, are you going to tell them about the bracelet I made? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to let them know about the bracelet, okay, that the little one up there made for me. But when I was in the store, I had my, Kansas City toboggan on. And so the cashier was saying, I'm sorry about the Chiefs. I had a couple of people say that. I'm sorry about, what happened with Patrick Mahomes. And she said, I'm a Bills fan. She said, but I just want to let you know, man, I'm really sorry to hear about Patrick and hope he gets better and stuff. I said, you know what? Thank you for that. And I said, I'm going to make sure I'm going to mention your name. So Sarah, okay, and Wawa, that's where we were at. Thank you for saying that as being a Bills fan. And I said, I always mention you. And also Alex, who's a Jaguars fan. And so I'm sitting there and I'm kind of discussing and talking to him about that. I'm like, look, hey, listen, and he said the same thing. He's like, man, you know what? He's like, unfortunate, man, what happened to Patrick? And what I've seen around the league, okay, I've seen a lot of people come out and show their concern and obviously, their love for Patrick from different fan bases, former players, players now. And I think really, man, it's the miserable ones, the ones that want something like that to happen. I don't think nobody wants something that happened to guys. But I think everybody understands that Patrick's a good dude. He's just a great guy. He's a great character type of guy, has a lot of integrity. He's a competitor that everybody can see that tries his hardest game in and game out. And you could hate the Chiefs for winning, and I'm sure a lot of it was like that type of, Chiefs fatigue that people had because he was always in the playoffs. And I mean, when you sit there, you look at it, we had this run that's been second to none in the NFL. And so that's reality. People got tired of us, Marcus. They got tired of seeing us winning. And so they didn't want to see us in the playoffs. They didn't want to see us in the Super Bowl. And everybody kept saying, man, let somebody else win. So guess what? Y'all got your wish this year, okay? I wish it wasn't at the expense of our Patrick Mahomes, the face of the NFL, because that's who he is. But I just want to commend everybody else out here who did show in their sympathy and well wishes and all those different things out here. But Patrick, speedy recovery from the injury that he suffered. And, it's always good to see, other fan bases that do that. Okay. It says a lot about them. And I'm just like, yeah, we understand this is a game. Okay. Patrick's a family man and we should be able to support one another. We should never see and revel in someone being injured. Okay. With the worst time to go. But just had to say that. So DJ said, yeah, Sarah, convert to the other side. We're trying to get her, man. She's up in Buffalo. I said, well, look, Josh Allen, he's got a chance now. When Pat was out, when he was in there, not a chance. Then he got a little chance, but we'll see.
Yeah, talk to Broncos fans. They think it's their year, so.
Could be, man. Could be.
It's one of the first years in a long time where I have no idea who's coming out of the AFC or the NFC. No clue. I mean, look at everyone thought the Rams were world beaters, lose to the Panthers. Yesterday, they go toe-to-toe with the Lions. They had to come back to win that game. Panthers lose to the Saints yesterday. I mean, the whole thing's just a giant disaster all over the league. So it's like I don't know. But I will say that being here at Cancun, you have a lot of different sports fans all over the place, as you know, JD. But I was wearing my Chiefs tank top today, and I had multiple people come up to me and say, hey, sorry about Pat. So it's like, and I think one of the guys, Luigi, he was a Bears fan. He was like, I love Patrick Mahomes. I'm a Bears guy through and through, but I love Patrick Mahomes. And it was really sad to see. And I think the collective football community, that they're real normal human beings, the ones who aren't cheering for injuries. If you're a football fan, you are upset that Patrick Mahomes is hurt and potentially could miss a good amount of games next year too. So although Andy Reid kind of said today that it should be a fairly quick thing, which I don't know how fairly quick is in terms of ACL surgeries, but yeah, if you're a football fan, you should be very upset about Patrick Mahomes being hurt. And anyone who's relishing that and celebrating that is a pathetic human being. Yesterday, I saw many Broncos fans, many Raiders fans reveling and celebrating it online. Disgusting display of just human being. I'm not even gonna call them Raider fans or Broncos fans. Those people are disgusting human beings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say that because that really bothered me. Seeing people cheer back, because I never want to cheer about someone's injury. So when I see other people just cheering about our guy's injury, it's like you're an animal, like in every way.
Well, the thing is, so you had to question just the reason, like, why are you reveling in someone's, pain? It's not like Pat has said anything or done anything, personally to anybody. He hasn't diminished anybody's existence in any type of way. This is football. He's just winning. This is what it is. You got wins and losses, okay, and all teams go through it. And so, if just because he's been beating you all fairly and competitively, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Right? It's not anything controversial with Pat, for you should be going out like, yeah, I can't stand this guy. Right? You know, he hasn't said, oh, I hate these people, I hate that. He's never said anything of that nature. If Pat has been anything, he's been a consummate pro. But not only that, but I'm talking about a person of high caliber and character. That's who he is. He's always been that. He never talks down to people. All he does is he's like Andre said, humble, generous, very kind. He is. You know, he doesn't curse. I think he had one spout that I think he said something to the ref, right? He got upset because the call didn't go his way.
The Bills game.
The Bills game.
Yeah,
that was it. And that was out of character for him. I was like, you know what? That's out of character for Pat. And I think it's the reason we kind of lost that game, because he wasn't in there anymore, because I'm just like, Pat, that ain't you. That's not who you are. And I think Pat understood that too. You know? So I think he takes a lot of pride into who he is. He really does. And everybody should be able to celebrate something like, you know, a guy like Pat. Really. You know what I mean? So people can say whatever they want to say about his family, you know, his wife, you know, and his brother, and like all those things that was in the past, you know, those things. But it's not Pat. He's not that guy. He's as balanced as you could possibly get. He's as good as a guy that you're going to be able to see and talk about and talk to, right? That's what he does. He celebrates other people, but he's a competitor. So it's nothing like that. He don't get in people's faces and all that. No, hey, pats dudes on the butt, on the head, and like, hey man, great job. He celebrates them.
Yeah, and I guess from and obviously you know this. You played. This is your livelihood. Anyone who's celebrating another man, especially in whether it's NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, any professional sports league. And honestly, anybody at all, because I mean, you shouldn't be celebrating anyone's injury in any profession, be it aside from the fact that you guys get paid money for playing a sport. So you need both your legs, you need your ACLs, you need all these things. But when you see these fans, like, and that's the toxic fan culture, which people want to say, oh, it's betting related. It has nothing to do with betting, because these fans have been around a long time, and it has nothing to do with betting. It's just people are just miserable people, and the fact they root against the fact they root for an injury or are happy about that and celebrate that. It's like, well, okay. And also on top of that, Tasia made a point on the post-game show yesterday. Well, congratulations, because you might have the people want to celebrate that. We'll also celebrate the NFL having maybe the lowest postseason ratings in a long time, because Patrick Mahomes ain't going to be in the postseason. I guarantee you're going to see a little dip in the NFL's postseason ratings this year. And the thing is, we probably weren't going to make the postseason regardless if Patrick Mahomes got hurt or not. But the fact that we are now out,
yeah,
good luck. Congrats. Celebrate that all you want, but the NFL's ratings are going to be plummeting. No one's going to be watching your team going to the NFC Championship or AFC Championship. Whoever's celebrating the Patrick Mahomes injury and the Chiefs being out of the playoffs.
Well, he was a guy that everybody loved to hate. And so, as Thunder Dan says right here, good to see you, my brother. I've seen the Bills fan and Broncos fans post, sorry to hear about Pat. And then when you celebrate this injury, you are the problem, respect to those fans. And I think really we have to, we need to amplify actually the good voices. And there's a lot of those, as opposed to the trolls and all these, we don't amplify those voices. We know there's idiots out here all over the place, whatever reason. Some people just like being idiots. Some people like just being trolls. Oh, look at, it's like, yo, you know what? For real? Okay. Well, you just keep that over there, whatever. But the other ones, like I said, Sarah and Alex, the one I seen today, who's Jags fans and Bills fans, really took a moment just to say that to me. I'm just like, oh. And then I told him I played, and it was like, oh my gosh. And we took a picture. And I'm like, that's pretty awesome. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the positive. Like the other day says, that's the positive of fans. You're right. We should be talking about those fans more, like the people you met and the guy I met in Cancun. However, I just was really ticked off by seeing a lot of that just horrible, toxic nonsense that I've seen on social media.
But also too, Mark, that's why I kind of addressed, in the keys to victory, the things I was saying. I want to be able to celebrate guys for what they went through all these years, for us getting at the top of the mountain and staying there for a long time. And I'm like, how can we not, revel in that? How can we not celebrate those things? How can we not talk about that? What they have accomplished, with this staff, Andy, where everybody was talking about firing guys. And then, we heard a lot of that just toxicity, even in our fan base that was going out there. And I guess for the life of me, there's a space for that because I see other people go out because they like to fuss and argue and all that, and all these guys are trash and all that. See, I told you this. And I'm like, look, man, we can be honest about things and have a conversation about where these guys were and how they performed this season, what offense would look like, defense would look like, what the problems and issues were, the miscues, penalties, miscommunication, all those things. Maybe not making plays for where we are, right? We can have that conversation. But also, too, we still have to recognize and understand what these guys have been able to accomplish over the years. Everything doesn't have to look pretty. Everything don't have to be perfect. But what we have been doing is we've been running the table on a lot of folks for a number of years, man. And so I was like, how about we recognize those things? We recognize the greatness of what this team and these coaches and these players have been able to accomplish. And we watched this. Golden era of Chiefs football, one of the best in the NFL ever. And you still will have people, like I said, is going to be unsatisfied about it. So that's why I was sitting there making fun of, like, everybody wanted to be GMs, and all of a sudden offensive coordinators came out of the Yahoo. After the Wazoo, they was coming out talking, oh, man, we should run this, run that and stuff. And I said, me included, some things that we were doing. I said, but these guys are going to run what they want to run. That's what they're going to do. Okay. So
JD, I did want to ask you two questions more about the injury itself.
Yes, sir.
ACL injuries. I mean, if anyone knows your history, you dealt with some catastrophic knee injuries. Obviously, science and the medical field's advanced a lot since 1999, 2000, JD? 99 season.
Yeah. I had a knee in college. I tore my meniscus tear in college. Then, of course, 99. I was femoral condyle deficit, which is that's cartilage, knee cartilage, but also torn PCL, MCL. I never had an ACL tear. Never had that before. But everything else, I mean, I was non-weight bearing for, I think, 8 weeks, like 2 months before I could do anything. But that's the reason I didn't play in 99, because my knee just wasn't ready.
Right.
Just was not ready. I could not play. And so what I love about this, Marcus, is because technology has gotten better. Guys do recover faster than what they were back then. And so that's the promising part of this. But go ahead. Ask your question, sir.
Yeah, so the question is, I don't know if you saw Taja's text to us earlier, and I wanted to kind of bring up what Dominic Foxworth kind of has said. But Andy said today, which I'm taking him at his word, Mahomes suffered the torn ACL, right? MRI scan revealed that ACL tear, but no other ligament damage. He's getting another second opinion on it just to dot all the I's and make sure everything's great. But what Andy said is, as long as the surgery goes well as expected, then I would expect a fairly quick recovery for him, is what Andy said. And then you have stuff like Dominic Foxworth, former NFL player. He said, my immediate assumption is that Patrick Mahomes doesn't even play next year. And then, yeah.
I didn't even open it up. Go ahead.
But yeah, that's what he said. It's an ACL injury. So let's say 7 to 10 months, that gets him, let's say 9 months, right? 9-month recovery. That gets him back about around September 10th, September 14th. I think Thunder Dan said about September 10th. So that'd be about either week 1 or week 2 of the season, depending on how the schedule lays out next year. Do you anticipate when he is ready, he'll be thrown back in there, or do you think they do take a gap year approach with him to make sure he's? I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, what are we talking about here? We're already assuming that in 9 months' time he's not going to be ready, so they're going to sit him down the whole next season. Come on.
But look, man, this is the landscape, right? Everybody comes out with opinions about what. Oh my gosh, he's going to be a gap year. Pat don't want to have a gap year. And let's talk about this truthfully, okay? If you didn't tear any other ligaments, And if the prognosis has a little bit of some positivity to it, it's that nobody else was torn around it. You may have a speedy recovery if there's no setbacks. And Pat could be like one of those guys that do heal faster than other guys. And so here's the thing. With this type of technology, like I said, today and at this age, things are different. But a gap year, not a chance. I think if anything, Pat would take his time, which he should, give him enough time, whatever he needs to do. It ain't like he needs to relearn how to run or, throw the football. He's been doing that his whole entire life. So I do believe he'll be back next year for sure. Sure, we'll probably see him back a little bit, sooner than what we think. And so that's what, to be honest, Andy's talking about. Like, hey, man, he might be here, fairly quickly. I think I seen another doctor was talking about he'll probably miss OTAs, but, training camp is a possibility. Running around, doing all the things he needs to do. So I see that happening. And also, too, Marcus, let me say this, because it goes into a lot of, the question, what does this mean for other guys, i.e. Travis Kelce? Travis Kelce, is this something Travis is holding on to? Like, hey, you know what? I didn't want to go out my last game of last year doing it this way, if that was going to be it, right? Do I want to go out when I watch my boy go down and say, I want to end this on a good, good terms, right? Or he could be thinking about, man, Zach Ertz. Look what happened to Zach Ertz, and here he gets hurt, right? So there's a lot of decisions that need to be made within the team and where they going. But I think Pat is going to be fine. I don't think that's going to be a problem whatsoever with him making that decision.
And I think the one thing, right, he's not a receiver, he's not a running back. If he was a running back or receiver and ACL injury happens, you're concerned about that stuff. Does an injury like this to a guy who's like, Pat is one of those deceivingly athletic guys. He obviously makes money as far as rolling out and doing all these types of, running this way, that way, east, west, whatever. Not a fast guy by any means, but he's deceivingly fast. Mm-hmm. But does this ACL injury, does this scare you as far as do you think this could take away from some of that Patrick Mahomes type of ball where he runs left, right, and tries to find someone and then extending plays? Does this kind of scare you as far as potentially maybe in the future he might not do that?
I think it should. Well, I think it should take away from it. I don't want Pat running around. Pat has, like Trent said, Trent was saying Pat has rushed more this season than he has ever in his career. And I think that was part of, the compounded, problem to where his knee is right now. Because he was just taking off. He was running. He was playing hero ball a whole lot. And remember early in the season, said, man, Pat don't need to be taking these shots that he needs to. He just doesn't need to be doing it. And so he was kind of in this weird place, Marcus, where he felt like sometimes he needed to take over the game. Then it was like, let me back off from here and make some of these plays. But I think he was doing way too much of that this year, way too much of it. And so it hurt him. And it hurt him right here in the end. It hurt him. Okay. So I hope it does change Pat's mind as far as, hey, man, look, you don't need to be running the football like you do. You don't need to be up here as our leading rusher with the football. So take off when you need to, extend plays like you had before, but also let that ball go. Change up, checking the ball down to guys in front of you. Take what the defense is going to give you. So I think a lot of our philosophy, at least with Pat and offensively, what we wanted to do is we wanted to stretch the defense. We want to push the ball down the field. And they adopted that the entire season, saying this is who we are. And we've seen that because it was in the EPA, in the numbers, right? All with this, what they were able to accomplish yards-wise. But did it result in wins? That's the question. Is you can take those numbers and skew in a lot of different ways. And saying, well, yeah, EPA is up, but are we scoring points? Are we getting in the end zone? Are the results based off of what the EPA says? And we know those numbers, through the whole analysis, doesn't tell the whole story. It just doesn't. And so I think it's when you look at those things, man, you're not looking at the whole thing, the whole scope of what the offense was this past year.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is I see people talking about Tom Brady. He had the ACL injury and he bounced back, right? The difference was, Tom Brady was a pocket passer. Tom Brady can't run at all. So there's nothing special about Brady out of the pocket. My thing is what I'm concerned about, which I don't think I think maybe just an irrational concern at this point, but I'm just concerned that we might, the beauty that we loved about Pat. I'm not talking about running, like being a runner, like the many times. I'm just talking about the running as far as being able to extend plays, rolling right, rolling left, and finding someone. I'm scared that he may be a little gun shy from doing that next year or in the future because of this ACL injury. And I know it wasn't on that play. I think he was running to the right. He was trying to get some yards, and that's how it happened. But the Patrick Mahomes we all loved, it one who extends plays, rolling left, rolling right. I'm scared that might scale back a little bit now after this injury.
Good. I'm on that train all day. Good.
Because you want him to take away what's there instead of trying to do.
Absolutely. Be more aware of your surroundings or guys running you down from behind. Now we get to see your skill set about putting the ball on the point where it should be. Okay. We need to be much more better at that. Okay. Getting guys initially out their breaks. And looking at this game, he missed a lot. He missed a lot of guys just out of the break initially. But that wasn't necessarily just his fault. It's offensive line, letting guys in his face. And this is what it's been all season. Nobody wants to talk about it, okay? So Marcus Dad got it. I'm gonna tell the truth today, okay? All right? Pat is hurt, so we're going to have some truth, all right? We're going to have some truth. And so the reality when you look on the film and the things that I see where guys can get better in their technique, get better at hitting guys and staying square on the offensive line, tight ends. If it's running better routes from the wide receivers, or if you're doing a little bit more crisp, like the nuanced plays and what we should be doing, need to talk about it. Let's be truthful about those things. And so Pat was under duress. He's been under duress these past few weeks. Well, shit, we played some very good defenses. We have. We just played the Texans, was the number one defense. Then we got the Chargers, which is a very good defense, top 10 defense as well. So when we start looking up and down this, the Broncos, you know what I'm saying? We had some tough boys to win against, some tough guys. So it ain't like these guys are just going to lay down for them because you're the Chiefs. That mystique went out the door a long time ago. Soon they felt like they could play with us and we kept them in the game, they're like, hey, guess what? We got a chance and opportunity. And so that's what they were really hanging a hat on is look, we're going to be able to challenge the Chiefs. They're not the same ones. They don't have the same offensive line that we had in the past. Now, the past couple of years has been, musical chairs because of, we just had to make, different concessions for other guys, right? Move Joe Thuney out last year to tackle, look good for a little while, but then all of a sudden when you go against, daunting pass rush, like the Eagles in the Super Bowl, now right? Now your blind spot, what you thought you were going to get away with, and you didn't, and you couldn't. But it came down to it. And so same thing this past year. Offensive line wasn't consistent like it should have been. Same thing in the blocking with our tight ends. I'll be the first one to say it. We wasn't always that great at blocking in line or pass blocking like we should have been. And so these things matter. It affects us running the football. We didn't run the football enough. We could be real about that. So, hey, man, we can be honest about some things, right? But you could take these things and look to get better. And I think you said something that Andy said about, but you.
Yeah, Andy said, a quote, "We're going to finish these 3 games, and then whoever is still here after, it's time to retool it." What does that tell you?
Well, these 3 games, we still going to play. We're still going to compete because that's who guys are. We ain't going to just sit down everybody, man. We're going to let guys play, but also, too, these guys want to go out there and compete and play. But then after that, we're going to do a deep dive and evaluation, not only for our personnel that we have on the team, but also too, as far as coaches and everybody. We're going to retool everything. And I think their vision this year offensively was one way that they wanted to stay, that they wanted to try to at least, exploit, and that was going deep. We got receivers that are fast. We want to get the ball to the hands of the playmakers in deep routes. So sometimes it didn't look as great as we thought it was gotta be. So we had to scale back somewhat. Well, some of the things that was working with us was Kareem Hunt making more yards. Pacheco ended up getting hurt. Last game started looking a little bit better, but then all of a sudden the question, oh my gosh, running game don't look good, running backs don't look good. I'm like, we have guys that are getting the job done. We want to keep talking about that was a problem and an issue. And we talked about Breece Hall. Everybody want to talk about Breece Hall, getting other guys up here. And I'm like, I don't care who we would have had in the backfield. We wasn't no guarantee to run the ball 20, 25 times. It just wasn't going to look like that. So,
For
man.
For me, JD, I think yesterday was the icing on the cake for me as far as like it's not they had no identity, but like it never seemed like it made any sense. Kareem Hunt's been the more explosive back for the last month or last 6 games, I would say. And you can also make the argument all year long when he was in there, he was giving us more juice than Pacheco was. I mean, coming this game, I mean, like Kareem Hunt barely touched the ball this game. Barely touched the ball this game.
Yeah.
Pacheco, 11 carries. Kareem Hunt, 6 carries, 6 touches. In a game, we're talking about a team that has a bad run D who's been exposed by pretty much everybody, but we gave him 6 touches. Unreal, man. Like, it never made any sense. This whole season never made any sense as far as the running game. And we've talked about before, whether it was Breece Hall, whether it was Marshall Faulk, whether it was Priest Holmes, they were giving the running backs 10 and 12 touches, and it probably wouldn't have made sense because they probably would have gone to Priest for me 8 touches and then given it to Pacheco for 4 carries. I'm like, wait, what are we doing here? I mean, it never made any sense to me. And that yesterday was like the icing on the cake of not making any sense as far as running the ball and going with the hot hand approach.
Yeah. Well, Marcus, that happened early in the season. We was looking at, when we knew that Buffalo was susceptible to the run, and we didn't run the ball against them. It's time that I'm looking at the schedule that Kareem Hunt, he was trucking for some tough yards, and he was getting them, and he was a very capable back, and he looked better as the season was going. The more runs he was getting 12 yards. We see 15 or 20. He was getting those runs. And so for us, we didn't quite understand why that was. And maybe it was because of the consistency of the offensive line. Sometimes he was good, sometimes he wasn't. But even Brashard Smith, Elijah Mitchell, like we just didn't see those guys like we should have. We have home run hitters. We got guys that could actually, dice guys up. And so we didn't utilize it. Just didn't.
And I think it's too. Other people keep saying the offensive line was bad. That's why they didn't want to run with Kareem. I mean, if anything, with your O-line being as banged up as it was, Kareem Hunt is the runner you'd want in there over Pacheco because he's the one who can get those tough yards, as he's proven against the Texans last week when he was hit by Danielle Hunter 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage and he willed himself into the end zone. I mean, many times Kareem Hunt has proven himself to be that guy to go in there with a banged up offensive line. And again, another day of just not making any sense of the rotation split there. And it's going to be interesting to see what you mentioned. Brashard Smith, you mentioned Eli Mitchell. It's going to be interesting to see now that Mahomes is out. What kind of change do they do with those running backs? And Andy Reid's quote to me tells me these last 3 games is going to be more of like a tryout, not tryout, JD, but like a 3-game showcase for guys. So they're like the Brashard Smiths of the world, like the Jalen Royals of the world. We didn't get to see them this year, but you know what? We're gonna showcase them these last few games to see what we got in these guys, to see if they can be in this certain role that we maybe foresee in the future for them. Tyquan Thornton Give him some more reps and rotations in that Hollywood Brown role or the Xavier Worthy role, just to see what he could do in those spots. I mean, I do think at this point, it's like you play those young guys a little bit more to see what you got in them. So going into 2026, oh, we need a running back. Oh, no, we need a receiver. Oh, we may need another middle linebacker. So, I mean, that's what it kind of tells me, a 3-game showcase for a lot of positions.
Well, you can do that. That could be some of their approach, Marcus. But you don't want to look like it's giving up on guys, right? Well, sure, we're gonna we're gonna shut you down for the rest of the season. But I do believe you got to see what you got. You got to see what you got. So, what does that do for the guys that maybe possibly we're talking about maybe in the contract talks or whether they're going what their future's going to lie in us? What does that mean? So, get Jalen Rose out there for these last 3 games, let him get some looks. Yeah, I'm always on board with things like that. I am. So, as long as I don't compromise what we do, because you can't put guys out there that don't know what they're doing, or if you don't trust them, is always a question. And I think because people were talking about the evaluation of Issa Pole. Oh, well, why hasn't we told you that? I'm like, well, they see him at practice. They do. Y'all see his size. See what he did in college. And like Nagy said, you don't know what a guy's going to do until he actually gets out there to do it. They couldn't take a chance at opportunity when you had PM15 back here until they was left with no choice but to put him in. And he did a great job. Did a great job. Now there's things he still has to work on too. He has strengths and weaknesses as well. So he's still a project. He's still a guy that, still needs some growing to get to being a consistent offensive tackle in this league. But it's promising what he was able to give us the time that he was, he's been in there. So same thing. Chu Godric came in and, he's a better, run blocker, but he did a decent job. So guys like that it's promising to see them actually, have some success, especially in these games right here.
Yeah, and I think they need to do the same way. If Trey Smith can't play next week, obviously no need to rush him back. But if he can't play next week, give me some Hunter Norzad snaps. Give me some CJ Hansen snaps. I think we've seen from that right guard there who's been playing behind Trey Smith.
Say it again.
I said at this point, if Trey Smith can't go and if there's no need to rush him back at this point, let's see some Hunter Norzad snaps. Let's see some CJ Hansen snaps.
Hey. I just got finished saying now. Hey, look, you don't trust the guy. You get a guy killed back here. Okay, we can't just put any old Joe in there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess my point is that Caliendo is getting guys killed back there. Let's see if these other dudes are getting guys killed as much, maybe.
No. Hey, Caliendo, you get paid enough. You keep your butt in there. Okay, paying Trey a whole lot of money, Trey a whole lot of money. You might have to throw him back in there too. So,
yeah, I mean, you're right. You brought up a really good point, JD, because I think people just say like our offensive line problems started when the injuries happened over the last 2 weeks. No, this has been kind of going on all season. Like, and this is guys like Creed Humphrey, who's great. He's had issues. He's had issues with the snaps. Trey Smith was having issues at the right guard spot. Josh Simmons was a rookie, so he has his own growing pains. And honestly, I thought the better play of the season came from the left side, and that was the 2 younger guys of the offensive line, and that's crazy to say because that right side is amongst the highest paid right side of an offensive line in the league.
Yeah, shoot, if not the guys,
it's crazy. I mean, that's the part that I think people forget. It's like, oh, the offensive line issues didn't just start 3 games ago. This has been going on since day 1 of the season.
Yeah, and inconsistent. Inconsistent. That's a great word to say it, because that's what it's been. There'd be some really good games, and I think Trey started, coming along and so okay, dude, now here we go. There's Trey.
Yep.
Creed. And then you start really seeing kind of that the mesh with those 2 guys. I was like, okay, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like. But Juwan was still struggling out there, man. Guys crossing his face, getting around him. He was better in obviously pass blocking than he was run blocking. The consistency of it. But like I said, Marcus, I think part of that is we wasn't working on it early in the season. in training camp like we should have been. And so when you see other teams, obviously, who run the football a whole lot more, they look a little bit more stout in what they're doing. And their, run blocking looks a lot better. Looks a little bit more consistent than what we have been doing.
Yeah, I mean, Chargers were a good example of that. They're a team that was banged up with the offensive line, but they wanted it more, and you saw that throughout the game yesterday. They wanted a lot more than our defensive line wanted it, and they wanted it a lot more than our offensive line wanted it on our side of the ball. And they were also dealing with banged up situations too. So
they just kept chipping away at it. We're gonna do what we do. Let's keep chipping away, right? Ours is we got the strongest arm in the NFL. We got fast receivers, so we're gonna play fastball. We're gonna throw deep. That's what our MO was this past year, right?
Yep.
Until it wasn't looking as good or we wasn't as successful, then we're like, man, we got to regulate for doing some of these other things. And I didn't even see like us changing up some of the things that we should have been doing, like 13 personnel. I didn't really see a whole lot of that. Robert Tiny started, just getting him toward the end of the game or the end of the season. And I'm just like, Robert Tanya's been with us the entire time. Why aren't we didn't utilize him? We didn't utilize Noah as much as we should, and we just didn't do those things. We didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it went from a preseason where like, man, we're talented across the board. We can do 13 personnel. We can go empty sets with Rashard Smith. We can do all types of things, and like, didn't really see that. And I don't think I ever saw an angle route from Rashard Smith. Outside of a preseason, and we're like, oh man, we're gonna get this, and we're gonna have this in the offense. We never saw it during the regular season. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was just something we put on the back shelf. Say, hey, that's not a priority to run right now. We got other plays that looks better against that defense, and I get it. That's what you do. You evaluate these things. That's why I try to make my point to everybody. Like, they just not out there just running plays. They looking over, how does this match up against this defense? It's the matchup. And so they felt like these plays were better to match up against said defense that we were going against. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So
yeah. But all right, well, JD, with the grades tonight, I'm very curious because I think tonight or yesterday's game, I know everything kind of got paused because of number 15 going down, and as it rightfully should, because he is our fearless leader. Curious to see how the grades are on this one because I thought it was rough sledding for a lot of different positions yesterday. The will and Watson didn't seem there. Didn't see really stand out to me on paper in a lot of position groups. So I'm curious to see how you grade yesterday's game.
Yeah.
And shout out to XL Raider. We got a Raider fan in here who says, "Get well, Mahomes. My hate for you does not extend beyond football. People cheering that Mahomes got hurt, not me. That's shady." Appreciate you, buddy.
You're my guy for saying that.
And I'll echo what Thunder Dance says here. Props for that. Now go get a QB so we can be the scariest division in the NFL. Yeah, Raiders, go find your guy. Go get Mendoza, baby. Go get Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
Or Kyler Murray. I know a lot of Raider fans want to go get Kyler Murray too. So.
Yeah. Y'all need some help over there.
Yeah, big time.
Y'all supposed to be better than what y'all were, man. I think a lot of that just kind of fell into like the receiving core. Just couldn't do anything. Just couldn't.
Yeah. I'm sure they wish they had Devontae back. All right, we'll begin with the offensive playbook. I didn't have time to make graphics today, JD, so I just pulled photos from the game. So we'll begin with the offense, and I got Andy right here.
Yep. So, this game, it was tough to watch. The thing is when you're going through what you're going to call for a game, you want to know who's going to be at the point of the attack, who's your personnel that you're going to be out there doing particular things. And we start getting kind of desperate, shorthanded, because guys that usually wouldn't be in there, all of a sudden, they're the guys that you got to rely on. And like Chu and, of course, Issa Pole, who did a great job, but still you could see some of the weaknesses against a very good defense. Um, we talked about Caliendo and Sumate was getting handed the ball. He was getting handled too. And so any of those guys got to call what they can call. And hopefully everything works out for the best. That's what you try to do, put guys in the right position to make plays. And so what does that mean also too? Hey, pass plays, short, intermediate routes, get the ball at your hand pretty quick. See if I try to Kelce, Rashid Rice, quick outs, whatever we can do. And sometimes those players are open. And I think any of those guys called a decent game. What I loved about it is because they started out trying to run the football, trying to establish that. And then a lot of that is because, it's cold, and obviously nobody loves tackling in that cold weather. So I do take my hat off for ending those guys trying to establish the run. So I don't think they called a bad game. I thought what they called, as far as scheme-wise, was pretty decent. So I give any of those guys, man, I actually give them a B-.
Yeah, after that drive, though, that first drive, they went away from the run completely, which was kind of disheartening.
Yeah, well, but shoot, when I'm looking at the field, man, we getting tattooed in the backfield.
It's true.
Something ain't working. Why go back to it? It's almost like how one dude in the basement was talking about that the same play that we run, with the over and the out, and it's 4 different teams. Well, it worked against all 4 teams.
Yep.
That's why you call it again. But ain't no sense running something and you're not open, beating your head, and they're not. I'm like, do anybody know what open is, what it means in the NFL? Like, sometimes I don't think people realize what open really means in the NFL, and how close guys are going to be defensively. Like, this is how great guys are. This is not college. This is like everybody's running 4.3s, 4.4s, where their technique is sound. So I just, for me, when I hear things like that, Marcus, and I'm just like, dude, like the play was open. But going back to what I was saying, the run, like, and we getting hit in the backfield. We getting 2 or 3 yards. It's not enough. It's not enough if guys ain't blocking like they should.
Yeah, and I think a lot played a fact that I know people don't want to give this guy any credit. I'm not saying he's a all-pro guy. Jalen Moore going down and having a guy who's never played in an NFL game having to take over that right tackle spot, because that first drive, Jalen Moore was in there, and we were able to kind of run the ball more effectively. Once he goes out, then it kind of became a crapshoot at that point.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was all the right tackle's fault. I'm just saying that contributed to not being able to run the ball as effectively as we were in the first quarter, where we did have Jalen Moore in there.
Well, I mean, shoot, I say, man, it was tight ends, it was left guard, left tackle. It was a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. If a guy misses his block, and that's what I'm saying, like, you need everybody on the offensive line to be on one accord. That's like the one thing in one group that you cannot be off on, right? Because they protect, the quarterback, the pass protection, and, they open up the host for the running backs. And for you, protecting the quarterback, then obviously it helps the wide receivers. The wide receivers get open, you give them time, all those different things. I mean, they all work together. So you can't be off, man, offensive line. You just can't be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as a whole this season, man, we talked about it, but like, just it wasn't a lot of variety. I'm seeing, Todd Tolver kind of says that there were no jet sweeps, no crossing routes. No, I don't know about no crossing routes, but I'll say we do crossing routes. I mean, that's literally our offense. But as far as no jet sweeps, not a lot of the usual stuff we used to do. And I don't think our offense was dictated on McCole Hardman being on our offense to run jet sweeps. We just don't do it that much anymore. And it's just kind of crazy. We just kind of eradicated that from our playbook. Eradicating 13 personnel, like we don't see that as much anymore. So I just don't understand. There's not a lot of variance in the offense right now. It doesn't make much sense to me.
Well, I'm sure they're probably thinking like, man, we don't run a ton of jet sweeps for the past couple of years. Everybody's going to know our jet sweeps, what it's going to look like, right? They're probably participating and saying, yeah, let's switch this up. So when they do try to switch some of it up and say, let's run something a little bit different, do they go too far away from it? Yeah, because you can still run a lot of different things just with that just sweep motion. You can still do a lot of crack blocks and whatnot, and we just didn't do it. Is that because they don't trust guys blocking on the edge? You know what I mean? Like, it goes into this question, Marcus. Like I said, who's the personnel that's blocking when we run this play? Do we trust the guys to make those plays to run this? And so that's why I didn't want, Bashar Smith to be a gadget guy. Shoot, let him run the ball.
Yeah.
A and B gap. Let's see what he can do. He did it in college. Let's see.
Yeah. What's the college football playoff doing it? So it wasn't like he was doing it against a lower tier talent.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, 3 games. I do hope that they open up the playbook. Maybe not open up the playbooks. I don't think they're going to do that anymore. 3 games left, but open up the playbook to scheme guys like Brashard Smith, get him some touches to see what we have at number 24. So our next position is our guy, our fearless leader, Patrick Mahomes.
Man. So
and Gardner Minshew for that fact, but both quarterbacks.
Yeah. So unfortunate, man, what happened to Pat, really. And, we talked about his speedy recovery, him getting back. I think he will. But I had to say, man, this wasn't one of Pat's better games at all. And a lot of it was under duress, but also, too, I think he was taking off running before he needed to try to extend plays and get guys open. And there were just guys he was just missing. I mean, initially, there was one that Travis Kelce was wide open in the end zone. But Sumate, kind of got a guy in his face. Pat had to, dodge, but he still could have stepped and threw the ball to Travis. He was wide open. He kind of dumped it off to Rice just under duress. But there was times that Pat just held the ball too long, and I was just sitting there like, shoot, what is Pat doing? Shoot. Matter of fact, our guy, E. Ward, was sitting there like, yo, what's up with Pat? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Because I'm just like, this dude right here is open. He could just drop this off if he wanted to. Like initially, right now, ball. And just wasn't doing it. So, with that being said, man, I don't think Pat had a great game at all. He just didn't. So, we can't lose, points, getting out of field goal range or, taking a sack, but I think Pat, man, he'll come back stronger. He will. Hopefully, we tighten up everything around him so we can protect him a lot better. So Pat doesn't have to take off running and try to be Superman each and every play and put everything on his shoulders. Like, hey, look, Pat, let us shoulder some of that responsibility too, man. Let us shoulder some of that responsibility too, as they should. But with that, man, I think Pat played a bad game. I'm gonna give Pat a C.
I'm right there with you. I think one of the things, I remember that play because Kelce's wide open because Kelce's kind of going flat towards the pylon there. I mean, he could have had him at the goal line. I know exactly where Kelce. You could see Kelce was visibly pissed off about it too.
He's like, oh, like what? But he missed Kelce on a few of those. Saying that Rashid Rice, and I mean, guys were open yesterday, and he just missed them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that the play that kind of stands out to me is the red zone pick to Kareem Hunt. I mean, just absolutely unnecessary throw.
Yeah, that was
unnecessary throw, unnecessary decision, all of it.
Well, I was going to give him a C-, but I'm just like, no, he's got a C, man. That was just pressing way too much. And like you said, he had to make that throw. Yeah, got it. So
the butterfly effect, right? Like let's say he doesn't throw that pick. Let's say we kick a field goal there. Who knows? We may never that play that he hurts his ACL never happens, right?
Right. So.
Yeah. I would say everyone kind of has C and C- and C in the chat there. All right, so now we're going to go offensive line here, JD. How do you think the offensive line did yesterday?
Well, I tell you what, this patchwork of guys, knew it was going to be a little rough. This group is they're hard to grade for the simple fact that you see some things like, okay, like you did a great job on this one. Really, really well. Then the next one you get beat. It's like, shit, what the heck happened? And inconsistency from the O-line is what's been happening this entire season. It's been happening the entire season. Pat is under duress. He's, moving his feet, having to take off running. And anytime that you're feeling that type of pressure and, you're antsy and you got to take off running, which Pat was, and he just didn't feel like he could be comfortable back there. And that's how he looked. That's how he felt. Also, too, some of the blocking up front. We weren't really getting up to the second level. We had missed assignments on a couple of plays. And so I think they did somewhat decent. I'm actually going to give the O-line the same I gave Pat. I'm going to give him a C. That's what I'm going to give him.
Yeah, I know Chu Godric, I mean, I give the guy credit. Like look, his story, he's the International Pathway Program guy. Just 2 years ago, the guy had never really played in football before. Playing 2 years in a row, being a preseason guy. And, look, I mean, he was thrown in the spot yesterday. And, wasn't a great job? No, but, that was a position that this guy came from nothing, essentially, right? Came from Nigeria, didn't play football before. It's interesting. It's an interesting story, but that's the state of our offensive line, is that we were relying on Chu Godric, who hasn't played football really in his life, and and so I think the offensive line did it. At least I think Godric did the best he could do yesterday, just based on what we've seen, because we haven't seen him before. He never played in D1 or NCAA. I mean, this is just preseason for him. So when I saw he was coming to the game yesterday, I was like, wow, so this is where we're at right now.
But you know what? But seeing that and hearing all of that, Marcus, for him to play the first NFL game and only having just a few number of snaps, he did a daggone good job.
100%.
I'm like, Chu looks all right.
Yeah, no, he didn't look outclassed by any means. It wasn't like I'll use this guys. I like using this guy as an example. It wasn't like Mike Caliendo getting picked up and body slammed by Ed Oliver, kind of worked, right?
Yeah, no.
I didn't see that at all.
Chu's a strong man. He did some good blocking, man. He's strong. And so I think he keeps working on his pass blocking. He's going to be fine. And that's a lot of it. It's just repetition is what you just need. And he can't get enough of it. So I think the Chiefs keeping a guy like him, Chu, here was a good shoot. It was a good choice.
Yeah, I think it tells you how they feel about him, and they think it's a guy they can kind of grow with.
Yeah, I do too. So, yeah. So C, you can give him a C minus. I thought sometimes he looked really, really good. Other times it was like, yeah, geez. So that's average. Average at best.
I agree with you. All right, now we're going to go to tight ends here. Travis Kelce and the fellas.
Another group that's hard to watch and grade. Travis catching the football. Times he's kind of, lackadaisical on the blocking. I mean, he'll have a guy man, but it's like sustaining. Robert Tiny went in, kick out block, didn't get to move the guy like he should have. I mean, Noah. And I think we just need to do a much better job at the point of attack for our tight ends. And that, and leading into the hole, all those different things, man. We just didn't do a good job. But I'm saying this past year, consistency. Travis has been a little bit more consistent in the run game than everybody else. He actually did a tremendous job all season. I get it. Yesterday was a little cold, and you should try to sustain a block in that type of weather. Heck, your fingers are numb and cold, and that's tough to do. It's tough to do, pushing on a grown man in 15 or 20-degree weather, you know. But I think the tight ends did a good job, you know, as far as like Travis getting open, catching the football because he was available for Pat. He was open. I'm just like, man, feature Pat. So with that being said, man, I gave the tight ends, man, I gave him a C+.
Looking like C+ for everybody in the chat right now, and C. I see B- too. Yeah, I mean, as far as we'll talk about that more on Wednesday as far as Kelce's future. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I didn't think it was anything earth shattering from the tight ends, and I've kind of felt that way like this whole season. Nothing's been like, you know, I didn't see him bring it this year, and I think it's a lot to do with not really getting to feature them like we have in the past.
No, we haven't. That's the truth. And but also too, it could be like, hey man, shoot, maybe some things we were doing we didn't look that great at, you know, like inline blocking or going up and meeting a linebacker. And if Travis Kelce is the one that's doing it the best out of everybody, and he's grading out really well, then that's a problem because it's like, hey, these other guys, y'all supposed to be doing the heavy lifting back here. A7 ain't supposed to be doing that. He ain't supposed to be doing this in year, 25. You know what I'm saying? Shoot.
Especially when that's never been his MO, but now he's doing it in year at 30.
Doing a daggone good job of it.
Yeah.
This entire season he was. And let me just say this. A7 has been locked in. He's been locked in all season, man. And that could have been because he might have been like, this would have been his swan song. This might have been the last one, right? Could have been last hurrah. But now he's got to make some decisions about what it is he wants to do. So what does that look like? And I'm telling you what, don't retire unless you really want to. And I think that's what he needs to get at. So he's discussing this with Jason, but only Trav knows what he's going to do. You know, seriously, this is something he has to weigh, man. He has to weigh where this could be and what the team's going to look like. And he'll have all off season to make a decision about what that's going to be, Marcus. Like we gave him last year, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's seen what we had coming in. It was like, yo, shoot, I'm there.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I mean, the guy didn't want to go out losing the Super Bowl is not, at least my opinion, the guy's not going to want to go out with his best friend and quarterback going out like he did, and the team not making the playoffs like we are not going to make the playoffs. I can't see that. Guys firing competitor ain't going to want to go out like that. At least my opinion.
It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough because the question is going to be like, man, what else do you need to accomplish? Like you accomplished it all.
Yeah.
You accomplished it all. You have multiple tight end records. You know, you can go, you got life after football. You hadn't really had any major injury. Why even do that? You know, you've won 3 Super Bowls. So what are you doing?
Yeah. Not much more to prove for sure.
No.
All right. So now we're going to go to the wide receivers, JD.
Wide receivers. Let me see this.
Oh, hold on. Jay, someone's at my door. Let me go. Let me go get that.
All right. Go ahead. So I'll go ahead. I'll continue to talk about them though. All right. So wide receivers. I think they did a decent job when they could. We had the Worthy who fell down on one of the plays. We still working through the woes of catching the football. But I guess the guys did a decent job trying to get up the field, throwing Rashid Rice, nothing too crazy. But they ran some good routes and they was open. And what we, like I said, Pat failed to do is actually throw to the open guy some of the night. So, we hear all the time that our guys can get open on man. And I just want to say that's just not true. sometimes they do get beat on man, but that's pretty much across the league that you play wide receiver. You ain't gonna win every battle on man. You just not. But if you have an opening where the ball can come in, you can catch the football. That's all you need. If I got to step on a guy, you open. That's how it works in the NFL. Let me make that very clear to everybody. If I got a step or two on a guy, you are open in the NFL. And you're expecting your quarterback to put the ball exactly where you're supposed to be. That's his job. And so, Rashid Rice looked decent. Worthy, like I said, he looked decent. He fell on the one, man. He had to shoot the slant route and just falls. Like I think he might have did something to his thigh, ankle, or something like that. I was just like, that looked kind of weird. But yeah, I think wide receiver wise, I think I'm gonna go ahead and give him the same thing I gave the tight ends. I give him a C+.
Yeah, I mean, I commend Tyquan Thornton for catching that ball and getting nailed like the way he did. I think Tyquan Thornton's a guy, as Andy Reid makes comments like, we're going to see what we got here over the next 3 weeks, and then we're going to figure it out. I think he's the one guy. I know he's been a topic on our show many a times. I know Tasia thinks he's a wide receiver 1 in the NFL, but I think he's a guy that he's not here to defend himself, but he's a guy who stepped up whatever his number's been called. I know he had the drop last week, but it was a great play by the defender. But he stepped up. He's made some really clutch catches. And I think it's a guy, as we look at a wide receiver room, it's going to have a lot of free agents next year. That's one guy they bring back, or at least dabble with bringing him back, because I think he's really stepped up this year when he's been called upon. So I think it's one guy's really shined this year. And an otherwise unforgettable year, a guy who's definitely shined in that wide receiver room.
So we're looking at it. Travis Kelce had 7 for 70, and Rashid Rice 7 for 51. Tyquan Thornton 2 for 47. Xavier Worthy 2 for 35. Kareem Hunt 1 for 8. And that was it. That's the only ones that caught the football. It didn't look like our typical Chiefs right there. Pat was peppered around the first of the season. He had 9 receivers, 9 guys that was catching balls. So now you're looking at 5. So. Same thing, Juju Smith-Schuster. We hadn't seen anything from Juju in the past few weeks.
The only time I see him is him getting penalties when he goes in there to block. That's the only time I hear his name being called now.
Right. Hollywood Brown, when he was in, he was successful when he was in. He's getting open. But everybody out there will get open. I'm like, y'all can't be watching the same film I'm watching. And then, too, if you look at other places, other receivers, it's going to look about the same.
Yeah.
Guys going to have a step that's open in the NFL. Got a step or two, that is open. So, but yeah, I think, man, that's about all, man. Him catching the football, but that's C+ on that, Marcus. Shoot.
All right. So, last position group for offenses are running back.
RBs. They're going to do what they can do. Now, what I will say is this. Daggone, them suckers was absolutely chip blocking. They was hitting some folks. They chip blocking, man, looked great yesterday. I like that. God. I forgot I don't know if it was Pacheco or Hunt, but he hit the defensive end, man, from the Chargers. I don't know if it was a new dude or it was the old guy. Tuilopo?
Oh, yeah, Tuilopo, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was him or it was Khalil. He planted that joke. I was like, shoot. I'm like, that's how a chip block's supposed to look. He lit him up. So they did good on that regard. Running, it ran hard. I think it was like maybe one that Pacheco didn't hit the hole like as fast as he should have. I hate our delayed zone from shotgun. Absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate it. We got to run the ball square running backs show the square to the line of scrimmage. That's what you do. Hit the hole right now. Come downhill immediately with bad intentions to get yardage. Doing it that way, and the guys get on guys, body on the body, that's going to guarantee you at least 4 yards just for that. And we like to go east and west and get the quarterback going east and west, and the shoulder's not squaring the line of scrimmage, now squaring it up and then trying to come down. Too late. Offensive line, they ain't going to do that. They ain't going to hold them up for that match. They're just not. Just not. So with that being said, man, the running backs, chip blocking was good, like I said. They did what they could do. I'm actually gonna give these. I'm gonna give these guys. I'm gonna give them a B-, man.
Whoa, I was not expecting that.
Yeah. And look, what am I gonna say? It ain't their fault. You know what I mean, Marcus?
That's true. No, you're right.
Hey, B-, C+. How about that?
No, you raised good points. It's not their fault. It's not their fault they're not getting the carries, and it's not their fault they're getting that attacked or getting touched in the backfield every time.
Right. I mean, what do you want a guy to do? He's fighting for his life out there. Come back to the huddle like, daggone, block somebody. Just get in their way. Just do that. Sustain your block. Let me get up the field. So I'm expecting them to do their job. Like I said, Pacheco had one. I think he probably should have ran it, a lot better than what he did. They didn't hit the hole like he should have. Chip blocks and all that, I think they did a good job. I think they did a good job, get out to the flat and give him, Pacheco ran an angle route.
So, JD, we're getting breaking news right now, JD.
Breaking news?
Breaking news.
Okay. What's going on?
So, breaking news looks like from the Chiefs' Twitter account, injury update on Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes successfully underwent surgery in Dallas this evening with Dr. Dan Cooper to repair the tear in his left ACL. Mahomes will begin his rehab process immediately.
Okay.
That sounds like someone who's not taking a gap year.
No, why would it? That's what that's what I'm saying, man. These dudes come out here, man, with all of this. I'm just like, dude, you just want to have that come out here and say this, and you'll get clicks and all of that. Everybody's gonna come see you. Say something salacious and crazy and off the wall. It's almost like me coming out here and say, hey, you know what? Patrick Mahomes is going to be out running within 8 weeks, full sprints. Take it what I said. I'm telling you right now, from right here, JD is sitting there saying he's going to take off running in 8 weeks. And people were like, man, he's crazy. But it's just engagement. People say stuff like that. It's just wow. So.
I mean, it tells you, right? Like I said, he was getting a second opinion to make sure there was no other parts of his knee that was damaged. But he got surgery immediately. It also tells you not a lot of swelling too, so he was able to get that done immediately, day after the injury, and getting into rehab right away. So it seems like, I hope so. That Mahomes will be ready for the 2026 season, which like a lot of people fear that we might not see that. And I also read, too, that the season next year is actually starting a week later than it usually does. It'll be starting the weekend of September 13th, which would pretty much give Mahomes about 9 months exactly to recover from the injury. So all good news, JD. This is the best outcome we could have gotten, right, JD? Given the circumstances?
Absolutely. No question about it.
Yep.
Get it to do it right now, take care of it, start the clock. Start the clock immediately. And shoot, heck, you'll have that sucker walking around, man. He'll start looking a little bit better, Marcus. I'm telling you. All right? Start moving around, get that knee going, healing up, and he's going to get everything he possibly needs to get himself ready.
Yeah.
Trust that. So he has a great team around him. They'll take care of Pat. They'll take care of him. So you're going to be shocked. We're going to be shocked. See how fast he's going to get back. So,
yeah, the comeback videos we'll be posting next year. Cannot wait for it. It's gonna be great. We were excited about Omena, who's training videos. I can't wait to see Patrick Mahomes' training videos. It's gonna be hyping me up, JD.
Yeah, shoot. Immediately, like now we could get past the shoot, and thinking it is, if you don't want to wait, man, look, Pat, he's getting back on his grind right now.
Yeah, he's already on to 2026. Honestly,
Hey, shoot, let's go on and get on it. While we wait, while we wait, we want the swelling to go down. Okay, the swelling. Okay, doctor said, yeah, we could go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and let's get it done.
Yeah. So for all those gap year people like Dominic Foxworth, well, I think say deuces to your take there. That take lasted about a couple hours. All right.
So he had a better team of doctors around him, and then he did a football team or coaching staff. I think everybody works in conjunction with one another. That's what you do. And so Pat makes sure he's going to get the best doctors. Shoot, he's a franchise QB. He's the face of the NFL. It don't matter what the expense, what we need to do, we're going to get it from Pat. Is what's going to happen. So his team of rehabs and all of that, they're going to put him in touch with everybody he needs to do it with. So both, Rick, on and off the field. Because we have to work on it now. Not only that, Rick, I'm talking about his mental side too, bro. He had to work on that as well. So, okay. Spags going to the defensive side. Okay, let's go.
Some bright spots.
Yeah. I mean, you play well. Spags put him in the position to make plays. That's what you want from a defensive coordinator. And so he cost him a very good game, and being a no break. I said, Marcus, should we hold them to 17 points, and we did, we should win this game. And we didn't, because we just didn't score points. Didn't help out. But I think Spags caught a good game, man. Spags, I think somebody was talking about fire Spags, huh? Okay, all right. We're top defenses in the league.
I think those same people are off the Spags bandwagon, off the fire Spags bandwagon after the Thanksgiving game, because he followed that up with the Texans outing and this outing. But now it's shifted to just offense focus. I think I just saw a post in here. There you go, Kyle Harrison. You guys should do an episode about our coaches not named Spags. That's where we need to start. So Spags is off the hot seat for right now, JD.
Yeah. Love to do that about the coaches. Absolutely would.
Yeah.
Because I heard a lot of people talking about different guys on the team, and you wonder, kind of goes to this, right? Because I heard a lot of people talking about Connor Embry. Who's this guy? He's not even a wide receiver coach and this and blah blah. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, Connor Embry has been around football his entire life. Day one, coming out the womb, he's been around football coaches, NFL coaches his entire life. His dad was my tight end coach in Kansas City. His pops was head coach of Colorado. His dad played in the NFL. He's been around all of football. And so what you see guys do, and Connor ain't the only one that's coaching this position that didn't play that position. That's everywhere in all levels. What you do is you get as much knowledge as you possibly need. So we'll put a guy on defense who's an offense guy, so he can learn the defense and how defenses work, and what do you do and how you defend offenses. So it's like, oh, okay, I see what y'all thought process is. Then let me go on the offensive side of football and say, now we're going to take what I learned from the defensive side, because this is what they do. Now I can make my adjustment. I could do those things, right? I can apply it. And so, practical application of what you do offensively is predicated off what you learn defensively, what they do and how they basically defend you. So there's a lot of guys that talk about that. Greg Lewis is another one. He's a wide receiver. Why is he not being a wide receiver coach, and why he is the running back coach? Well, Greg Lewis wants to know a little bit more about running backs. He learned a lot from Bieniemy. He calls anybody up. Hey, man, this is what we do. So those things guys do, and they get better at it over time. So hey, man, this is how the NFL works. This is how football works. A lot of coaches do that. They go from different one position to another position, and that's what they do, and that's what they kill the coach. That's what they teach. So, but they are learning from the best. They're right there where they need to be. So, with that being said, Marcus, I'd love to do that. Talk about the coaches one day. We'd love to do that.
Hey, we're going to have a long off season, so we'll have plenty of time to do that.
Yeah, but this is about tags. Oh. Okay. All right. I thought I heard some running. I'm like rumbling. What's going on? But yeah. Spags, I gave Spags a B. Spags did a solid B for me. Not a B plus. Good game call. So
yeah, I mean for the guys he has, I mean he's doing what he can. I mean, last 2 weeks, solid.
Yep.
All right, so now we're gonna go to our
should B plus, but I'd give him a B plus. Go ahead.
Our linebackers. Yep, linebackers.
LBs. Oh, we got LBs first. Okay, let's go LBs. Not as good as last week, but they did a pretty decent job. Some of the positive runs was maybe some second level not getting off the block like we should, but sometimes you got to attribute that to the first level guys doing their job. But Nick Bolton was all over the place. He was. I know he got hurt for a little bit. John Cochran came in, but I think they did a decent job playing. Drew Tranquil, his skill is kind of, I don't know. Drew's kind of, he has good games, and then some games it's like kind of disappears in. This game he was kind of so-so, did a decent job of it. I thought when Bolton went out, I thought Bossa was going to be the guy that came in. I was like, this is the time to do it, right? So, but it didn't happen. Chanel did a pretty okay job, pretty decent. So linebackers, I think they did I give them a B minus to C plus. That's what I'm gonna say.
I mean, that was one thing that a lot of people were kind of perplexed by, with like what you said, that they go in Cochran instead of Bossa. I mean, what is that? Is that just a trust level thing as of right now? I mean,
yeah, it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah, definitely. Absolute trust level.
Should that worry us as Chief fans, saying like, oh, is Bossa like not developing fast enough, or is it just more like Cochran's been there for a long time?
I just might need a year, with the scheme and stuff. Maybe they just shoot. They talk truthfully, like, hey man, I don't, no. We may want to find a place where we want to be able to put him. Could they put him right there where Drew Tranquil is? So I don't know.
Yeah.
But if they trusted him, he would be in there, Marcus.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now let's go to the defensive line. We got to see our guy, Ashton Delate, make a pick yesterday.
Yes, he did. Our defensive line did a pretty decent job, man. Chris Jones was still spectacular getting back there anytime he wants to. Minahu came back there, got him a sack. Gelati got him that interception. Karlaftis came back, got a little bit of, some pressures and stuff, but still not consistent on him either, doing that. And we really need to see more of that from him. But I think our D-line did a pretty decent job, man. I gave our D-line, I gave him a B. Good job by our D-line.
Have you noticed Gelati, just advancements from week one, just overall progression each week? I mean, obviously he's not getting a million snaps, but like we've seen him kind of grow throughout the seasons from week one. I mean, what have you seen as far as his progression?
I want to see him trade more. I do. I want to see him play a whole lot more, man.
Yep.
So
Can we trade Karlaftis? We're got a lot of questions like that this offseason.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate though. I thought Karlaftis was going to have a much bigger year than he's had. And yeah, I mean, he just we're stuck with him, man. I think he just got the extension, so yeah, it's we're stuck with him for the time being. But I will say, based on what Andy's talking about going into this offseason, I feel like a lot of things we may not think are likely right now. That could happen. I feel like everything's on the table going into this offseason.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And the fact that we just talked about it, Marcus, man, we screaming in the void like, man, you got to give Chris Jones just another monster of a guy inside, just another dude. And you hear names, obviously, the guys that was in the draft and whatnot. I just wonder where, because I haven't really kept with a lot of them where they are unless I hear your name. Like, oh, okay, there's such and such. But I'm just like, man, it could be some other guys, man. It could been in there just helping him out, man. So, but Gelati he's doing a good job. Norman Lott is not in there. We don't have Norman Lott. The guy that we have, he's hurt. So does that mean we should have went for a bigger, beefier guy? So. No, but hey, the guys got to be. I think they did a good job, man. So, like you said, this offseason we'll talk about it.
Yep, plenty of time to talk about a lot of these topics, guys. I know that like I said, it's going to be a long off season. Usually, we have shows previewing games every week until February. This year is gonna be a little different, so it's gonna be a fun show. This coming year, very different view of a Chief Conservative show. So it's our first long off season, JD, that we've had.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, we got defensive backs here, JD, to finish off the defensive.
DBs. DBs, I think, played a pretty decent game. Noah Williams came in, gave us something, man. He plays hard. He's physical. I love the kid's aggressiveness. I do. I don't mind the aggressive play, getting a penalty on that. I would never have a problem with a guy that's out there doing that. You putting hands on these receivers, man, you my type of guy. Hey, we'll ride with it. We're good. Now, away from the ball, that one he had to the face, I get that. Come on, who's watching? Come on, seriously. Tick-tack call. Whatever. But our DBs, I think, did a decent job. Bend and don't break. And let old Keenan Allen, old crazy leg Keenan Allen, come in, have a couple of balls. I'm always just Keenan Allen's older than Phillip Rivers. He came to league before Phillip did.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, it does, don't it? Yeah. It's like I had 5 catches, man, but only 36 yards. So I think they did a decent job against these guys. I give our DBs, I give them a B-.
Okay. I'm just happy to see Noel Williams play. I mean, I see Kyle Harrison saying Noel, just another rookie that should have been playing sooner. I'm happy they're starting to play Noel Williams a little bit more. I know he got that penalty, but like you said, JD, we like to see physicality and some aggressive dudes.
Yeah, aggressive guy.
Yeah.
Chill guy says, I admit, what are you admitting, chill guy? I hate any level of coaching that commits to players when they already have players waiting in the trenches, AKA we signed Fulton, Cedric, wasting money, attention, and reps. So, chill guy, we know that they will try to get their money's worth. I mean, that's what you do. Yeah, I mean, we invest in a guy, we want a return on that investment somehow, some way. That sucker gonna play, and so this is no different. We didn't know that Fulton's gonna keep getting hurt and have setbacks and whatnot like he did. So they could have maybe did a better job on evaluating that. But I think Noah Williams is a very good find for us in the draft. And there's going to be some questions coming up, Marcus. What are you going to do with Trent?
Yep.
Can you do without Trent? And that's Snead was in this, a couple years ago. We let Snead walk.
Snead walked and he's barely played games in Tennessee. I mean, now he's got off the field issues too. I foresee, and this is maybe, I don't know what you think about this. This is obviously we have a lot of time to speculate on this stuff, but I foresee a Tennessee parting ways with L'Jarius Snead and him coming back to Kansas City on like a 1 or 2 year like small little deal. That's what I foresee happening. He's got all the field issues going on right now. He hasn't really been healthy since he's been in Tennessee. I can see Snead coming back home to Kansas City for a small little like prove it kind of deal. That's how I see it. With the way things are shaking out in Tennessee, that doesn't look the best for him. But yeah, McDuffie, I could see him being traded instead of percent. We can't sign everybody. And obviously, we have bigger needs than cornerbacks. We've already invested a lot to cornerbacks. I don't see them paying him, honestly.
It's gonna be tough, man. You're gonna be looking for a big ticket. I don't know if we got that. Shoot, that'd be tough.
And Jalen Watson's played good enough this year. He's not going to demand nearly in the same ballpark as Trent McDuffie. So like that's the guy I think you end up paying, honestly.
Hey man, we don't know now. Jokes, hey, switch it up. You get a agent in your corner, man. You the best thing since sliced bread. They could have did anything without you out there. I'm telling you right now, you are all pro, and they picking on you because they know how good you are. Look at the guys you stop. So if we watch Jalen Watson come in, his sunglasses are 10 tints too dark. He's wearing all these new clothes and $1,000 bags, and everybody's. I'm like, I look at some of this stuff, man. I'm just like, there's no way. Shoot, even if I had that type, there's no way I'd be paying for some of this stuff he's got. The fashion stuff, man, is out of control. It is.
It's nuts.
Right? Shoot, after all that came out, remember when they was talking about the bags in China and all that came out, and people put all the names on it, and it was like you could get it in China for, a fifth of the money.
Yeah, a lot of the bags are coming out from the knockoff factories, which is just hilarious.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and it was the bags everybody's using. These are the same bags, same stuff, same material. Slap a name on it, it goes up 10 times.
Yeah, it says Louis Vuitton on it. Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, it's like man. So, with that being said, I don't know what's going to look like with Jalen, man. I don't know what's going to look like with Jalen, but I hope Jalen is here. I hope we retain, both of those guys if we can, if we can manage it. I don't know if we can manage Marcus. I just don't know if we can. I
mean, McDuffie we can get assets for. I don't know how many assets we're going to be able to get for Watson, but I think McDuffie we could kind of maybe get something for him, like a package.
Yep. Yeah, we can't be skimpy on other things though too now.
No, we can't.
We've been skimpy on a few things. So
edge rusher, running back, we need it.
Yep.
All right. We're going to go to our final topic here, or final position groups. This is special teams, JD. How do the special teams do in this Week 15 game?
I had one request. Just don't kill us. That was my request. Please, just don't kill us, special teams. And they didn't. They didn't kill us. So we had some pretty good returns, which I do appreciate the guys coming out there. Dave came in and was straight up with everybody like, look, we're not that special this year. We haven't really been. And so special teams was decent. It was decent. So with that being said, Linda Hunter. So I'm going to give it to Linda. Linda's going to give them a C+. What do y'all give them? I'm going to let y'all give y'all grade for special teams. All right? You got my grade. Linda says C+. I like that grade, Linda. So Definitely missed Justin. Talking about Justin Reid. Special teams, Demetrio.
Demetrio. Whoa.
D? No.
I have to say, they had one penalty on special teams.
Yeah, one penalty. And I'm like, here we go. Here we go again. You know?
I mean, it is crazy. I mean, how much we are penalizing these returns. It just doesn't make any sense. I've never seen anything like it before.
So Andre C+, love it. Michael Kittle, special team C. Not bad, average, right? Yeah. So
DJ Jazzy says Tobe C. Got a bit of correction of poor blocking, etc. Butt kicker A, Ariza A, Winchester A.
yeah, Winchester's always A.
Solid.
Yeah. I told Winchester, man, I wanted to get him on the seat for this season to come on. He said he would have. So still might have to get him on here, man.
Hey, I mean, his off season, he'll be at Cancun soon, JD. He'll have plenty of time to be on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Remigio had a big return. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, he did. Demetrio Smith, and that's true. They had to be one of the most penalized units in the league. I agree with you there. No doubt about it, Demetrio.
Mark Martinez. We thinking about the kickers year. C-, but a lot of holding calls, sloppy overall.
There's going to be evaluation there too, man. I'm telling you. Shoot. There's going to be evaluation there as well.
Man. So. Yeah, everything's on the chopping block. Yeah, General with 50, we talked about it, buddy. We talked about it. Great news that he's already got surgery.
Good. Richie come in. Richie said Jackman is not to get a flag this week.
Yeah, he's expending all his energy on defense.
Yeah. Oh, Jack, like, I'm going to play. So.
But all right, everybody. That does it for our grades for this Week 15 game. We hope everybody enjoyed the grade show and just the overall talk about Mahomes. I'm happy to see it. It seems like the morale is a little bit higher in the chat tonight versus what it was yesterday. It did feel, obviously, for obvious reasons, sad the way that things happened yesterday. But JD and I are always going to be here to provide that the perspective and optimism and silver linings and all that good stuff, and just presenting the facts as we see it. And that's how we're gonna roll in the show. That's how we're gonna roll all off season. And like I mentioned, it's gonna be a long off season, longest off season we've had in like 9 years. So let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy this long off season together. The guys can get their rest and be ready to rock in 2026. But JD and I are gonna bring the heat every week for you guys. So let's get after it.
Appreciate it. Well, ladies and gents, another show in the books. Like we said, positive news with Pat going in and having successful surgery. That means he's already on the road to healing. That's how it works for us. These last 3 games, we still cheering for these. That's what we're doing. We're still cheering for these guys. That's what has to happen. You know, I had a couple of my dudes, man, was asking, like, hey, man, what do we do with these guys that's left over? And I'm sitting there like, I want to hear what everybody says. And I'm sitting there like, yo, the guys get paid to play. Then let them play. These are not the guys that's going to pack it in. They're just not who they are. I would be shocked if guys did that. Just, you know, let's just go ahead and pack it in and be done with the season. You know, we have too much character on the team. Guys still want to do well. So my thing is we keep giving them that positivity and that support that they need. So thank you so much. Prayers up for Chad. Thank you, Andrea. Chad is doing well. Appreciate you guys and gals out here. Y'all been amazing. Y'all have. I know that y'all ride or die with us all day, every day as Chiefs fans. So like you said, I think with Sarah, somebody said, you're going to get love over here. It's all love over this way, right? We can talk about a few things, talk about life, but look, we're going to be real with everything, and we appreciate you all for just coming out and supporting us, okay? With that being said, I haven't done this a long time, but Sasha, the barbershop, You play to win the game. Hello. Yeah, that's what you do. You play to win the game. That's right. DJ Jazzy, Michael Kittle, Witchy Hall, Andre Chenault, 4KC, Pastor GT, Deshaun Hammonds, Kyle Harrison, Linda Hunter, Mark Martinez. Oh, we have become spoiled. Respect to all who play the game for our entertainment. That's true. Absolutely. All respect. Demetrio Spence, General 5170. I'm DeBrown. J Dub. We got Chill Guy was here. Rick Hendrickson. Hadn't seen that name. Rick, good seeing you, man. I ain't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well, my brother. About time was in here. Let me see. It's always good to have, man. I've seen always great people always come back, man. Come see us. See new names and whatnot. Talk to folks. I think who else we got in here, Marcus? Marcus, when y'all get back in here in the States, brother?
I fly in. I land at 4:30 tomorrow, so I'll be back in the States for the round table show. I'll be on tomorrow night. I'll be back in the usual spot. So yeah, I fly back tomorrow. It was a nice time. The wedding was beautiful yesterday. It was a good time.
Hey, who called the bouquet?
They didn't do that, surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, these Gen Z and I guess young millennial birthdays or weddings are different. The no bouquet. Have you heard of a private vow session? They didn't read their vows out loud. They did a private vow session where they just read it to each other with an officiant right there.
No.
Yeah, I mean they did the I do part in publicly, but they did a private vows, which was weird.
Oh man, that is their wedding. So
you 100% to pay for it, right? They said that I asked him, I was like, you didn't want to do vows? He goes, I didn't want to cry in front of people. I was like, what? That's a part of it. That was his reason.
He won't do it, man. Big old salty, he been sobbing. And they're touching, giving you vows and stuff up, man. It hits you in your heart because you bearing your soul and everything else. I mean, that's what this wedding is all about anyway, right?
Yeah.
To this person, hopefully for the rest of your life. And so, I think that's the time to express how much you love, one another. So everybody can hear it. The very intimate part of why your heart beats for this other person and why you are become one. And so those are amazing times. But he said, I don't want to cry for it. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Hey, man, listen, it's your wedding. Whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Exactly.
I've been to different weddings. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because right after our show, because Mahomes, the ACL, all stuff, and I have to go to the wedding right after that. I'm sitting in my seat, Stu and JD, and I'm normally not one of these guys who thinks about superstitions. There's a lot of fans who are very superstitious.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there all through the ceremony. People, Laura's walking in and doing the whole thing, the bridesmaid thing. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I think I don't normally believe in superstitions, but I'm like, I think me not being in Virginia watching the Chiefs game, it's why things happen the way they happen. Because look, and I thought about it while I was sitting there. There's all stuff that goes through my mind. The last time Pat got hurt was that QB sneak, right?
Yeah.
And that QB sneak, that was a Thursday night game. I was watching that game when I was doing it on a business trip in Staten Island, New York. So I wasn't in Virginia. So both times, which is very seldom, where I watched a Chiefs game out of state, Patrick Mahomes got hurt, JD. So I can't do it. I irrationally felt guilty yesterday.
Hey, God, your fault. You're like, Dad, damn it. That's me. I'm the one that brought that about. Shoot, bad mojo. Now,
Tasha texted me today. He was I secretly want to blame you for this.
What would a big brother do, right? Instead of teasing the little brother, get on him. So, yeah, man, that's shoot, coincidence, of course, but
it's crazy. That both times, and very seldom I watch a game out of state. Both times I've watched a game out of state, and to my knowledge, in the last 10 years, those two games, Mahomes gets hurt. What kind of luck is that? It's crazy.
Hey, the football guys is like, Marcus is where? Oh no, we got to hit him. We got to get him on this one then.
Press the eject button.
Yeah, I dare Marcus go somewhere else and watch this football game. So we got to make it a point, okay? He needs to know and understand that the luck of the season all lies on him being where he needs to be. So,
but yeah, that nonetheless, it was a fun wedding and fun time. And if anyone ever, Cancun was a really good time. It was at the Secrets Resort in Cancun. There's a million resorts here. I know you have a resort that you go to in Cancun. It's a really good time. It's fun. I definitely recommend.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time, man. Did y'all get to? Well, I was gonna say go outside, but we don't really go outside
the beach. I mean, yeah, the beach that's right down here. Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they tell you
not to.
Yeah. Hey man, like no, don't do it. So,
yeah.
On our resort, we had armed guards, up on the beach.
Interesting.
Machine guns and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually right on the beach area. There's police on both ends of the beach. So yeah, as protection, I guess. But yeah, so it's a crazy world outside those gates. I am curious to see how the traffic goes because on the way into the resort, I mean the 2-lane highway looked a cluster, JD. So I'm curious how long it's going to take for us to get to the airport tomorrow morning.
Oh, shoot, no time. Them jokers drive, boy. They drive everywhere and around everything. They're going to get you there. They're going to get you there. So, but good, man. Well, listen, hey, man, I have a wonderful trip back.
Appreciate you, brother.
Safe travels, my brother. Tell Laura I said hello. And, kissed a nice couple, got good wishes from over here in Kentucky.
Will do, brother. And the guy who got married was actually a tight end too, JD. So, and he's a big Jay Dunn fan.
My man, that's what's up. Good deal. All right, so the Italians do it right, man. So as long as he's doing it right, I know he's gonna be all right. So, Thunder Dan 88 was in here. Also, the Joey was asked. Let me finish up a couple of guys here. Who else? It was somebody else I missed too. I just forgot what I was doing. Percy Bedford. I know I said DJ Jazzy, right? Jordan Fletcher. Let me see. I think it's about it, Marcus. I think it's about it. Well, listen. Y'all don't know routine. If I get to say your name, J.K. Pika. That was another name I haven't seen. Hey, listen. If I get to say your name, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you all for coming out, sharing your time with us. Look, y'all take care. God bless. Be great to each other. Love each other the way you're supposed to. We will see you all on Wednesday night. Marcus is back in the States. We're going to get back at it. We're going to talk about this game. We're going to talk a little bit about just whatever. Okay.
For the future.
Yeah, talk about the future. Maybe
we do need to open up the airways. You're right about that. Yeah. Because I'm curious here that with that, if there is panic in the Chief Concerns community, I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Like to see it. Like to see y'all faces. So with that being said, love you guys. Love you girls and guys. Marcus, love you, my brother. Be good. See you up here, man. Be safe on your travels back. Okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
We'll see y'all.
Good night, everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.